Alrighty, hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Laura and today we are talking about mental health. I've been thinking recently about some really simple things that I do in order to support my mental health, particularly when I'm struggling, but also just in general day to day. So I'm going to take you through 5 of those today, and I hope that this helps to support you and gives you something to look to when you are also struggling. So let's get into it. The first thing to do is to let go of the shame. When we are having a hard time, or if we just generally struggle with things, it can feel like it's our fault, or that there's something wrong with us, or that us feeling this way when other people aren't feeling this way is like a personal failing, like it's morally bad. And I just wanted to say that everyone's brains work differently. We all come from different backgrounds and have had different past experiences, so we process things differently. And something that you might really struggle with, something else you may be totally fine with, right? Like it's not a one size fits all with this. So if you are struggling, even if you are trying to do a lot of things right, just know that there is no shame in that, and that shame will only hold you back and only make it harder to spend your energy in a proactive and positive way to try and actually help yourself. You know, if you're beating yourself up over it, you're wasting time that could be spent actually trying to help yourself. So as much as you can, try and let go of that shame. Try not beat yourself up for feeling bad or for feeling anxious, depressed, whatever it is, and know that sometimes stuff just happens. It's okay. The next thing is to take care of the basics, and the basics here are food, water, sleep, sun, and exercise. So with food, I spoke to my therapist recently because I've got some stuff on at the moment, and he basically said on the days that you're really struggling, make sure that you get at least one substantial meal per day. And like, even if that substantial meal is like some carrot and cucumber sticks with a peanut butter and jam sandwich, you've got some kind of vegetable, you've got protein, you've got good fats, you've got carbohydrates. Like, there you go. If you feel like you're up to more and you want to do something where you have like a good protein and you have lots of veggies or lots of salad as well, then that's really, really awesome. But on those days when you're really, really struggling, at least getting one decent meal is going to help you to feel better. Water. There are all those memes out there of people being like, why do I feel terrible? Why do I have a headache? Why can I not think? Why am I exhausted? And you haven't drunk any water that day. Make sure you do the water thing. And it doesn't have to be like just plain water like I do. Like, I really like just plain water. But if you are having your water as tea or coffee, try limit the caffeine, but those still do count, right? If it's with a fruit juice, though, again, you don't want to have that sugar crash, so try to sort of limit the sugar. But if you need that for the flavor, or those like water drops that they do, or the different flavors that you can get that don't have any sugar in them, whatever it is that you need to have to realistically keep yourself fairly hydrated, do that. Sleep. Now, sleep is one of the last things that I will sacrifice. I will try to sort of compromise in other areas, basically any other area, before I compromise on my sleep. And that's not always the easiest for people, but there are so many studies out there showing just how hard it is for you and your body and your brain to function when you don't get enough sleep. So take it from me, the more that you can prioritize getting like at least 7 or 8 hours of sleep, the better you're going to feel. Sun and exercise. I am lucky enough at the moment, because it is summer here, to be able to combine both of those. But if you are in the Northern Hemisphere, try to supplement your vitamin D, or try to get out in the sun when you can, even though it's winter there at the moment. But with this exercise piece, I'm working in healthcare at the moment, and one of the people I work with who's super amazing is a breast cancer surgeon. And she, when doing a talk to a bunch of people the other day, said that one thing that she prescribes to all of her patients is 15 minutes of exercise every day, like as a prescription, you know, with all of the different drugs and treatment, also 15 minutes of exercise every day. And literally, if that is, you set off walking from your house in one direction and you set a timer for 7.5 minutes, and then when that timer goes, you walk back again, and that's your 15 minutes of exercise, that will help you. That will absolutely help you. I'm not going to get into the exact science of it, but this is something that is very well proven and is literally prescribed by cancer surgeons that I know of. So get something in each day, move your body. Okay, the third thing for me is to write down your grounding phrases. Grounding phrases for me are those thoughts and those feelings and those moments of clarity that you have when you are doing well, and putting those on paper or in your phone, wherever it is, somewhere, so that when you are struggling, you can come back to these. So some of these for me, when I was drinking alcohol a bit too much, kind of a year or two ago, working with my dietitian, she said that alcohol is a depressant, and oftentimes the depressed part of it only comes the day after. And this was something that I'd never really put together, but when I was struggling and I'm like, what do? Do I go for a walk? Do I get to bed early? Do I read a book? Do I try to get some more work done? Whatever. The one thing I did not go for was alcohol, because I had written on this wall, alcohol is a depressant. And I was like, I do not want to feel more down, more sad, more anxious, more depressed. So I'm not going to go there. And that was a really good grounding thing for me. I also wrote down something that I said once after I'd been out for a run, which was that running makes me hate everyone and myself less. And that was really good for me, because even though like physically it's draining and I'm like, ugh, that is how I would feel after I've been for a run, even if it was like 15 minutes. So that was another thing that I used as like a grounding phrase. There are other things that you can do around, you know, if there are certain difficult people in your life, writing something about that, so that when you are feeling like topsy-turvy because of some interaction with them, you can go back to this. Or anything else that is really resonating with you when you're doing well is like, yeah, I am doing well. I do want to do this. I do want to behave in this way. I know this, but you think that maybe when you're struggling, you'll forget that stuff. Write it down. Write it down. It's such a helpful little hack, because when you are panicked and stressed and depressed and whatever it is, you can't think about that stuff. Like, again, I won't get into the exact science, but you need to have it in front of you for it to be meaningful. My fourth thing is to find creators that help you rather than hinder you. So firstly, I'd hope that if you're watching this, then I'm one of those creators who helps you rather than hinders you. If I am hindering you, maybe you shouldn't be here. You know, I want you to be having a good time. But outside of just general people who want to talk about mental health, there are some really awesome creators out there. My two favorites are Mickey Atkins, who is a therapist who talks about therapist-y things on her channel. That is her catchphrase. And Patrick Tiahan, I think that that's his name. Those two at the moment are the ones that I find to be the most helpful and the most, again, like grounding and the most relevant for me in my mental health. And I am feeling like I learn a lot of just little things here and there from their videos that really help me and really support me, and also really like motivate me on my mental health journey to keep working at things and know that things can and do get better, and that there is reason behind all of this work that we are doing. So whatever those creators look like for you, and maybe that's something that's more in the like minimalist or intentional living or manifestation or health and well-being kind of space, rather than specifically mental health, whatever that is for you, find those creators and use that to help to build you up, rather than following creators who make you feel worse or tear you down. Yeah. My final tip is to gently listen in to the messages that your mental health is sending you. What I mean by this is that we can have times that feel really difficult. Sometimes that is because there is a certain situation or person or experience that maybe isn't the best thing for our life, and that's why we're then struggling with feeling anxious or depressed or whatever it is that we have going on. And sometimes things just happen, and sometimes we just are feeling a bit down. But there can be important messages behind why we are struggling a bit more on a given day. So the actionable advice there really is that if you feel like you're really struggling on a particular day or the next day after something different has happened in your schedule, maybe look at what that thing is and why that's maybe affected you. Because yeah, it's important to deal with mental health issue symptoms when they come up, but if we can look a little bit at what the cause is without saying, oh, I'm feeling bad, there must be a specific reason, let me go find it, let me fix it right now. We're just gently inquiring as to maybe this is coming from something, and maybe this is something that I should look at and look at if I can address this long term so that whatever the situation is can move over there and it will stop upsetting me and my peace. So anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed my top 5 general mental health tips. Please comment any of your other awesome tips that you would like to share down below. I would really love to hear them. If you like this content, please subscribe and like this video. It does really help, and I will see you again soon. Bye.